Hey y'all, what I wanted to talk about today is the Wonderland 222 or the Wonderland 222 planner and notebook. Now, I have the planner for 2021. I do not have the planner for 2020. I can't speak about it. I have been using, so let's backtrack a moment. I have been using the Wonderland 222 notebook since July. It was one of the notebooks that I tried out during One Book July. I've been doing all kinds of wonderful stuff in this planner. I've played around with journaling. I played around with planning, bullet journaling. It's my book. That's what Romany would say. It's my book. I've added pictures. I've added collage. I've added watercolor. I have experimented with different things. I've added vellum, tip-ins. Let me move the bracelet around so it doesn't keep clanking. I've tried different layouts with my journaling. I've been documenting our DIY flooring. I've been documenting current events. I've had all different kinds of things in here. There's a documentation of current events. That was the Beirut explosion. Victor and I went to Charleston for a dermatology appointment. Charleston is about 2 hours from us. Mr. Rockstar fell asleep in the recliner. There was an earthquake in South Carolina and North Carolina, mostly North Carolina, but parts of South Carolina. Earthquake in the Carolinas, y'all. I need to go back in and fill this in, but I may not. I may just write a couple little paragraphs. Like I said, I've done all different kinds of things in this. Tried different weekly layouts, documented watercolors that came in, along with stickers and washi tape. I have been having a lot of fun. Shed to studio. I've been doing a lot of different things, but I have been using this on a pretty consistent basis since I came back to it. Was in it in July, went back to it, went back to a few other things, came back to it in August. I've stayed in it throughout August, and now into September. And this is today. I have the week, and then I have pages where I can brainstorm or write down things like coffee chat ideas and notes, my thoughts about conscious consumption. Decluttering is pretty much what that's about. This is my setup right now. This is the 2020 calendar for the year from Paper Penguin Co. And I'm using it, but what's in here is going to actually go in here come November. And then I just wanted to house it so you could see how. But I have two different setups that I'm going to have. And I do have an extra Wonderland 222 notebook because this is a Filofax original. And it has been de-ringed. And this is the Inkpressions notebook that finally came in, and it's the 68 GSM Tomaway River paper. Because it's not as thick as the Wonderland notebook, because I didn't want to stuff this. I have this in here because this is going to be what I carry with me all the time. This is going to be my personal planner, and I can draw and sketch on the 68 GSM Tomaway River paper. It is so wonderful. But this is the planner. I've actually even set up my key, my color code, what I want to track. I had started, I did this on camera, the washi tapes that I want to use in November because I want to do squirrels and acorns, and I'm probably going to draw a few little squirrels. This has birthdays and anniversaries. I'm going to also be using it for doctor's appointments for myself, for David, for my mom, for Victor, Selena. With the planner, you open it up. This is flexible. It's a soft cover, but it's got some oomph to it. So if you take it out of here, and let me take my pencil board out, it's flexible, much like a soft cover moleskin. It is flexible, and I did have to cut the cover to fit in here. I could have went through, you can go through and, you know, do this. And the more that I use this, the more it will, maybe the next time I won't have to cut the edges of the cover. I don't care. It's going to go, once it's done, it's going to sit up, you know, it's going to sit like this, and nobody's ever going to notice that this little bit was cut off the cover. And if somebody is noticing that that little bit is cut off the cover and they have something to say about it, that's their problem, not mine. I'm doing things so that things work for me. I'm not worried about other people and what other people think. Could have done a little bit better job of cutting. I wanted it to sit in here, and I needed for it to close. Now, I have thought about taking off the elastic. The elastic doesn't work very well for the pen. It doesn't stick out enough. It's not working very well for the pen. So I don't know. I may take the elastic off. But I also have a Filofax Malden that was in the purple color, but I hand dyed it. I've got to find it. It's in my room somewhere, y'all. It's in here somewhere, as I am cleaning up stuff and boxing up stuff to move it into the barn once we're done with the barn and it's converted enough for me to use. I'm hoping I'll find it. I love red. This is adorable, and it's lightweight. It's a little bit smaller than the B6 stuff. But the Wonderland 2.2s, the notebook and the planner, are a tiny bit smaller than normal B6. What did somebody say was the difference between the Japanese version of the sizes and our American version of sizes, I think? Then after the key, you have the index. After the index, you have 1, 2, 3 pages of index. Then you have the 4-year spread, which would be the previous year. Well, if I start this in November, it'll still be the current year. You have 2021, 2022, and 2023, which is wonderful. And then you have what would be the 2021 yearly spread. This is the Calendex to me. I'm not sure what I'm going to chronicle on this. I was thinking about chronicling my steps, but I may chronicle my weight. I'm not sure. I am losing weight. I finally got batteries in the scale. As of this morning, I've lost 8 pounds. Then we have the first quarter, January, February, March, and it has the calendar like right here with Monday through Friday here, and then Saturday and Sunday, and then you have some space right here for notes, and it has January, February, and March along the side, and along this side, parts of it are highlighted. The colors of this are sort of a gray taupey kind of color and a lighter gray taupey kind of color. So it's 2 or 3 different shades of the very neutral taupe-ish gray color. Here's the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and then you start with the trackers, and it's labeled Routine Tracker Project Timeline. And what I was noticing when I was doing this is, like, here's November, and the way that it's laid out is that you have the same way you do like in the bullet journal, and then you have extra space right here for either notes or to have more things that you are tracking. This is, like I said, going to be my personal, so I have personal stuff over here, not my work stuff. And then when you get to the end of the trackers or the project timelines, you have a page for notes and then a November overview. Now, this changes once you get past November. Then you have the calendar, and it has the previous month and the next month. And it is a Monday start. The moon phases are notated, as well as holidays and things like daylight savings ends on November the 1st. We have Election Day on November the 3rd. We have Veterans Day on the 11th. Thanksgiving on the 26th. Now these are American holidays. So we have the weekly spreads, and what I like about this, so the weekly spread starts Monday as well. So this is October the 26th through Sunday the 1st when daylight savings ends. We have Halloween on the 31st. Now, Halloween also is a full moon. I know a lot of people who are like super happy about that. At first, I wasn't so sure about Saturday and Sunday being split up. And at first I was thinking, because we have the timeline from 7 to 21. I don't know military time, so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So from 7 in the morning until 9 at night. Or it could be from 7 at night until 9 in the morning, depending on what schedule you work. You could change the numbers if you needed to. You have 3 sections up here. Maybe those you could use for priority things, like appointments or events or things that are going on. Here, split up, you have a good amount of space. One of the things I've been trying to do is get on a schedule, a routine, so that I have the weekends off. That's usually the only time David is off. However, there have been times lately where David has been working on the weekends. Let's zoom in a bit so you can see a little bit better. It is 3.9 millimeter grid. So if any of you know of a stencil, like the Hobonichi stencils, this is for 3 millimeter grid, so it's a little too small for this. Just a little too small. The stencil that I have, that I got from Taroko shop, it's a little too big for this. It's for 5 millimeter grid. This is 3 millimeter, this is 5 millimeter. I need a 4 millimeter grid stencil. There's a bottom section right here where you have plenty of room to write for during the week. You could write vertically or horizontally because it's just grid. This is tabbed with the color on the side, and you can see how that's done like this. They do change the shades a bit, so it is easier to see. And it does have the number of the month and the abbreviation, like 11 NOV, 1 Jan. I like that. Makes it easier. You can use your own tabs. I have tabs in my notebook, but this is the notebook. This isn't the planner. So when you get to the end of November, you have a November review and a December overview. Whereas back here for November, you have a notes and a November overview. So I could right here write down some of my overall thoughts as I go into November. My overall thoughts about how the year is gone, how I want the last months of the year to go. Because this beginning part where you have the quarters start in January. We have 2 months left of the year, and this starts in November, so you'd have that 2 months, which you could use this notes page right before November starts for that. I really wish it started in October. That would be so awesome. You go through the months the same way. January review, February overview. I really like how this is laid out. I really do. And then when you get to the back, you have a December review, and then it starts with the dailies, and it says day right here. And the pages are numbered in this, as well as in the notebook. So what I've done is, according to my color code, if you look at my color code, I've used the same colors, drawn a little house. We've got finances. These are for personal things, like if I've got a dentist appointment or an oral surgeon or eye doctor or whatever, and I need to know, I need to keep up with or have money saved. If there's something important going on, I can notate it. Need to buy, ideas, it can be anything. So this is for self, and I have appointments, etc. Like these are things I need to do come the end of this year and during next year. So as I go through, I'll knock things off. Now this is self-care, so different thing, because these are regular things that I need to do for myself, like make eye doctor appointments and get new glasses, go to the dentist, get my teeth cleaned, get a mammogram, different things like that. Now this self-care is also not, it's more of the mental. I already take a couple of classes One that is just for me. One, it helps me grow as a person. Two, I learn things. Three, I get to have fun and play and art and all kinds of stuff. So, I also have like a watercolor class by Alyssa Burke that I've been taking. I am behind on it. But this is something I want to make a note of and keep important things. Like if I come up with an idea to do something, I can notate things. This is to get outside. I'm going to be notating that in my journal. But if I get an idea or there's something I really want to do, like if I want to go to a museum, say I want to take Victor somewhere, and I want to get out of the house, not just get outside and go walking or whatever, but to get out of the house, get outside. This is more like artist dates kind of thing where I'm getting out of here or out of the barn, the studio, where I actually get out and about. And then I have the studio because it's going to take a while before we completely get it done the way that I really want it done. I'm not finished. I'm going to do a meals section, have David and my son and my daughter and my grandkids. I got to find the color for Victor. He's the only one I don't have on here yet. And that's because I ran out of colors. So I'm going to find a color. Victor likes purple. And I have a purple. It's actually the mild liner purple. I just started doing this. So like I said, I'm going to do the colors. Each person has a color. I will put those in here and put that person. And that way, like I can put down what size shoe Victor's wearing, what size shoe Selena's wearing, different things so that as we go through the year or whatever, or if I'm purchasing ahead, say I want to put some presents on layaway in November so that I can have them paid off in December, right before Christmas, then I'll know when I go looking, this is what I'm interested in getting them, or this is the size that they're wearing, or that kind of information. Now, in the back of here, you do have 75 pages. And the way that their pages are, let's zoom in a little bit more. The way that their pages are, you have a thing for the date. You have a timeline of 5 to midnight. It's grid, and then it has a slightly darker line in the middle down to the very midpoint, and then horizontally and vertically. Now this one stops right here, so it makes like an upside down T, which separates these two. So let's say you had a timeline going on for your planning or your bullet journal or whatever, and then you had a to-do list right here, and then you could make notes right here. However you want or need to do it. I like how this is laid out. I sometimes use it and sometimes I don't. In the planner, there are 288 pages total. You have 75 pages, so it starts at 213. The actual daily pages starts at 213. The notebook, now this is, like I said, this is going to go in the red Apple Pig hybrid Traveler's Notebook folio that I have. And this is a Sojourner folio, and it is beat up. It's nice and comfy, and I actually usually have my art journal in this. I do have an extra Wonderland 222, but I also still have a Taroko Enigma that I had cut down to B6 that I'm actually going to put back in here. I have a sketchbook I may even put in here. Still debating, but I wanted to put these in here so I could show you. So this is for work. And what I've done for work, I haven't done a key yet, but it has all the same things. But my plans for work are going to be different because that's Patreon and YouTube, and I'm hoping to really get into the blogging. But now that I'm not so all over the place, I'm still a bit all over the place. I'm always going to be a bit all over the place. Thank you, ADHD, and the fact that I don't take medicine for it. But I find that it might be a really good thing for me. I've been wanting, like I said, to get on a better routine and a schedule and things like that. I think this will work. I've tried out a couple of different things, but this is going to be the dailies, the bullet journal. This is part of that. But this is going to be my dailies. And then this is the actual planner. Now back here for work, Let me move this. This is going to be my grocery list. So I have things like this so that I can keep up with whether I do these things or not. I have other things I can list. I'm not sure. I'm still figuring things out. But when it comes to the month, I can actually put like a sticker. I have a great place that I get YouTube and Patreon stickers from. I'm going to be planning things out. And then my daily pages will be, this will be the plan, the weekly, and then the daily pages will be what actually happens. And when you get to the back here for where the daily pages are, these are, again, I think I'm going to put the collections for the projects that I'm working on, the creative projects or the videos, list collections, different things like that will go in the back of here. And this is going to be the dailies. That's what I have so far. Now I do have the other, I had gotten the planner and the notebook for each one. And like I said, only the planner will really fit in here. If I put the other notebook in here, it doesn't close like it needs to. Maybe it would without the elastic. I don't know. Maybe it would without the elastic. I may take the elastic off and see, because yeah, I'm not a big fan. We'll see. I don't know, but I like that in my personal, I may get some more of these if this works out okay. The only thing about this is these are stapled. I can live with that. I like sewn much better, but it's really hard to find 68 GSM in the B6 size in dot grid Tomoe River paper. I found 68 GSM notebooks, but they were plain. They weren't dot grid or grid. In the 68 GSM. So, and I like the white paper. I'm not a fan of the cream paper. I can use it, but not a really big fan. I'm waiting for Taroko shop to to get an actual B6, not a B6 Slim, but a B6. I would take a B6 Slim, but I'd rather have the regular B6. I'm probably going to get quite a few more of these once I don't remember how many pages was in this, but I'm going to use this kind of like a sketchbook because my daily pages in here are going to have the regular stuff. I also, like I said, have the other B6, which I may end up putting in here by itself because it's going to get chunky. I may just stick this notebook in this one and by itself. Or I may just switch things out and put my notebook in here and put these. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But I'm happy. I've been using this, and you can see the chunky. you can see, and it really works well. I did this with watercolor. It holds up to everything I've thrown at it so far, and I've done collage and watercolor and tip-ins and bullet journaling and added pictures and washi tape and thicker pieces of collage, all kinds of stuff. So it's holding up great. I love the crinkle, and I'm loving it. Wonderland 222 or 222 did not send me any of this. I bought all of this myself. And like I said, it has been very, very hard to find B6 Tomoe river paper. 52 or 68 GSM. It's even harder to find the 68 GSM, especially with a dot grid. But I love this notebook. I love what they've done with it. I'm really happy with it. The only thing I think, for some people this is a problem. I don't really notice it. Military time, not a fan of. But I like that it's not dated. I can make my own dates. So unlike the Hobonichi Cousin, some days I need 1 page, some days I need 2 or 3 or 4 or 8 pages. And I like this, being able to have the planner like I've set up for starting November, and then have like the dailies. Alright, so I thought, since I'm so happy with this, I'd go ahead and show you what I have. This is this week, and I'm going to put a piece of vellum, but I haven't printed it yet. So I watercolored this tree right here because right now we're starting to get a little bit of the yellow in the trees. So I added a little bit of the yellow. The grass, our grass is still super green. This is the tree that's across from me, one of those. I wanted to have fun, so I watercolored it. And I think I might put a piece of vellum. I may not. I don't know. But you saw this in there. So this is this week. These are some watercolors from Rachel Beth. And I thought I'd use a bit of the watercolors just to kind of highlight my days of the week and my calendar part for this week. Well, not my calendar, but my layout. I'm not trying to do anything special. So it's Monday morning for me. I have been doing greens, doing all different kinds of greens, plants, things like that, because this is the last month that things are really green for us here. So I've been using a lot of greens for this month. This didn't work out very well. My tracking is so off. But as you can see, I've been doing greens. I'm about to film the coffee chat for Patreon. And so I have this. This is where I'm editing and getting things done. And I'm going to be writing my list. Here's today. And this is what I'm doing for Patreon. Put a little piece of washi there and then did this in watercolor. And I have my little coffee cup for the coffee chat. I'm so happy. I've said this more than one time in the video, multiple times. But this is like having a hybrid B6 Hobonichi. If you put in the planner part, so the dailies is more bullet journal. This is I'm adding bullet journaling and journaling. I'm almost back to an omni journal. I have a feeling that as this evolves through from now until November sometime, my notebook, the dailies part, is very much going to be omni-journalish, because I'm going to have dailies, notes. I don't know that I'll have a whole lot of to-dos, because I'm going to be using the weekly part in the planner for the to-dos. But this makes a lot of sense to me. I'm working towards revamping how I do things and combining things that have worked for me in the past that I absolutely love with things that are working for me now. I just wanted to kind of show you the evolution of things. And like I said, I've added all different kinds of things. I've been doing all different kinds of things, taking notes from classes. The more that I do in here, the more that I want to do in here, which means, like I said, this is getting quite chunky. But the great thing about that is that even though it's getting quite chunky, I'm not having any issues with it. The notebooks have 365 pages, which means I can have plenty of room for things like this, which is 50 things to do. And this is my 2020 list. I had 100 originally, but because of the kind of year this has been, I reduced it down to 50 and wrote them in here because I had started my list. So anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this review and a look at what I'm doing and what I'm thinking about doing and how I'm sort of setting things up. And I will see y'all again with another video. I have the Parku acrylic paint pens review for y'all, along with my Barn to Studio journal. And I'll see y'all again real soon. Thanks, y'all. Bye.